Hello, my name is Brady Rogers, and I'm going to be showcasing my Power Cube mechanic. This level is a level that I created in Unreal Engine. I have to go up to a castle. I get a quest from the handler that I have to go up to the castle and lower the drawbridge. And so with my mechanic, my first action block is I have to put in one of these cubes into the slot, and it will activate either a lift or a door. On the right hand side, through level design, the door is going to be broken down and darker shadows are going to be casted along the right side, showing that the right side's going to be a more dangerous area to go to. So when I put in a dark red cube, the lift will raise and I can see that there's enemy on the other side. You're allowed to take the cubes out, and then when you put in an orange cube, it raises doors. So once I go past that, I'm able to get up to the castle. I can see that the drawbridge is still raised and that I need to find another way to get into the castle. Right now, the yellow cubes are a placeholder for the art assets where I can actually add like crumbling rock on the outside. So once I get through a small little platformer, I'll be able to go into the next action block portion of the level. So you'll still see the same generator, slot, and radio that goes in. So in this room, I can see that there's a door and there's a lift with a dark red cube. I'm able to use the lift, which gives me the ability to get the orange cube that raises the door. So leaving this room, you'll see light in the other room, and you'll see that there's possibly going to be some type of loot in the next room. And when you come out here, with my level design, I have leading lines that lead to the edge of the room over there. I can see that there's a lift right here. Having this put in right here makes the player have to go through the level to search for a cube. But you're able to go back into the area we were just at in order to get the cube. Come back here and to advance more into the level. Or the player could go and search the rooms or try and find back access to the room over there. So this allows the player to get that area, and it adds a hard gate so you're not allowed to go back into any of the previous portions of the level. So coming up here, the player will be able to go into the castle courtyard. In the castle courtyard, I will come over here, and I will be able to see the drawbridge. With the drawbridge, I can see that there's another radio and generator over here, and the generator's blue this time around. So if I turn around, the first thing the player will be able to see is that there's a blue cube up there off in the distance, and I have a pillar leaning towards that direction. So coming in here, the throne room chair is going to have a dark red block. This cube, when it's put in the wrong position, it will not turn green. But if I place it into a position where it will do something, it will turn green. So I'm able to progress through the harder portion of this level. This will go the same thing, where I can plug in a cube and it won't do anything. And so coming over here, I added to where now the player has to be standing in certain areas in order for the power cubes to work. So if I put a power cube in here, the lift will raise, but there's no other way to get to the lift. So the player has to be able to stand on the lift in order to get the lift to work, and the player will be able to get up here. And coming down to another orange cube, the player can guess to see, where the cube goes, where it's supposed to go. Plugging in this cube, the door will open, which gives me another maroon color cube in which I can plug in, and it raises the lift over there. And now I have to backtrack and be able to put this cube in there, and then I will have the complete circuit to where I can go get the blue cube. So now the whole pathway towards the blue cube is now working. The player can take fall damage, and I set up all the jump puzzles to where if you do them properly and go to the lower sections of them, the player can fall and take no fall damage. So with this blue cube, I saw the blue generator outside, so the player will be able to put the blue cube in here, and it will activate the drawbridge in order for it to go down. So the drawbridge is down, and this will end the level, because the entire portion of this level was just to get the drawbridge down. So inside this code, I have created some objects are just objects I can place in the scene. They don't have any coding on them. But the cubes themselves, I'm going to take an example, the power cube that works the door. And here, when the actor overlaps, I casted it to 2 different pipes. So in the level, whatever, I can have a long issues of pipes going on, and for the cube itself, I choose 2 of the pipes that it has to touch against, and that's what's going to activate the cube itself. That's why I can have multiple instances of different pipes in the level, and the cube will only can work in with certain pipes, and then it'll turn green because of it. So it's going to check to see if it's going to be touching pipe 1 and pipe 2. And if they are touching, it's going to play a sound at the actor's location. It's going to change the color to green if it's in the correct 2 pipes. And it's going to send out a interface signal to the radio. And the same thing is going to happen in reverse when it stops touching both the pipes. It's also going to send a closed door to the radio. With the radio, it's going to take signals through the exact same way through all the other cubes. So the power cube to raise the lift is going to send out a different signal. It's the same code, but it's going to send out a different signal toward the radio. So I have, with the BPI, I have it for raising the lift, lowering the lift, raising the door, lowering the door, as well as the drawbridge for the blue cubes. And it's going to access the actual door itself. So with this radio, I'm able to talk with the radio by giving it which door it's going to communicate with, which lift it's going to communicate with, and the drawbridge to communicate with. Since I have a door and a lift this one's communicating with, then I only have the door and lift clicked in right now. And so once it will access it, and it will get a variable depending on what it's from. So with the castle door, it has, is door able to open? And since it's able to open, I'm going to go through a timeline, and I'm going to raise or lower the door accordingly. With the lift, I created a arrow location. That way I can change the location of the lift so I can make it raise or lower as much as I want to. And I also have 2 sides of the lift, so it's not just a floating platform. And with that, I am able to go into the individual sides and raise and lower it, and raise and lower the arrows so the lift can go as high or as low as I want it to be. And with that, that is my power cube demonstration, and that's how I can implement it with different action blocks across this entire level. And I'm able to show how I can make a deadlier area where there's AI behind it. In the castle dungeons, I can make it to where the player has to learn that they can backtrack to get another cube that they can use in the future. And at the end, I can use multiple cubes with multiple radios in order to create a more complex puzzle. But that is my mechanic.